Few days demand more from you, and today is that kind of a day. While I was too occupied in my office work and commitments, I had to sneak out some of the time. I had to, really struggle to find a slot where I can cover these three companies who came up with the result on the same day. And initially I thought I should do, a comparative video, but that was not covering all the aspects. I am doing this video only for you, so that you get to know what's happening in this quarter, what's new in IT. Especially if you are an investor, you would have seen my two videos. Wipro and Infosys, they are talking of two extreme situations. While Infosys is at the upper edge of that extreme situation, Wipro results were quite muted. And now we are talking of TCS results. Let's look at it. Where is it positioned? And we will also talk about one more factor, which is the valuation. Just see the kind of expectations IT sector has built in. A slight performance disappointment from these big companies can really have a bad impact on the stock market performance of the IT sector, because over last 5-6 quarter we have built a habit of seeing the or surpassing the expectations always, and somehow we will have to be realistic. And there is a great danger that if we see some disappointment in one quarter, that will reflect very badly, and the market would feel that the story or the growth momentum which we have seen since 2020 has gone for a toss now. That is a great risk. So beware. If you are into IT sector or invested into IT sector, please beware of that factor. Any day that factor can kick in. This quarter at least is not that one, because we saw with Accenture, we saw with TCS. We are going to talk about TCS. We have covered two, Infosys and Wipro. If you have not seen them, please check them out. So it looks like it is going to be a decent quarter, and at least the demand is intact for 2022. It is appearing like. But again, in terms of execution, in terms of future growth prospect, any signal can be a bad sign for the industry. Having said that, let's look at some of the numbers which we see from TCS. So as I said, Infosys was a big beat, and tomorrow you will see that coming out, and that will reflect in next 3 months in terms of stock market performance. And then you will also see the Wipro results, probably a sharp contraction in the Wipro results. Now here is the catch. How would TCS performance be in next 3 months? Let's see that, because it's a mixed bag of result or a performance. While we saw the revenues are up about 16.3% and 15.4% in constant currency term YOY, operating margins saw a big decline YOY. That's not a good news. So there was a time when TCS was clocking a 27% operating margin just 4-5 quarters ago. Now they have come down to 25%, probably because of the employee cost which has risen sharply. That is denting the business. And we see if net income has grown up by 12.3%, but the net margin is about 20%. So net margin is still very healthy for TCS, because if you looked at the operating margin of Wipro, that was 17.6%, or I think 17.4%. Now from there, their operating margin is 17.4%, so most likely their net margin will be around 14%. So TCS is still healthy, but the kind of valuations TCS commands over Wipro, or premium TCS commands over Wipro, that is also very high. In terms of net client addition in 100 million category, that's a very good sign. And if we look at the net cash from operations, that is also growing very well. Now see, TCS was never known to hire highly from the market, but they have done a net headcount of 28,000 employees, and despite a 15% attrition, We will talk about that in a minute. And what is one thing which is coming out nicely is that they have done some promotion for internal employees, and the 68% growth they have seen on senior levels have gone to women. Now going forward, looking at it, so I think the attrition figures are a bit worrying. From 7% last year, they have reached 15% now. So it's over 100% jump in just 1 year. And if we see Infosys, which was about 25%, Wipro is about 22%, TCS results still look really impressive. But look at the base, employee base, with 15% employees on, I think, 556,000 employees. That's still about 70-80,000 employees who are quitting the company. That's a significant number. And when you hire a replacement for these employees, they are always going to be costly. And TCS is known to keep these things in check and well plan those all things. And to avoid the impact, probably they are doing a lot of fresher hiring that you will have to factor in. Now here is a catch. While the performance is not absolutely spot on, because we always look for some impressive numbers from TCS, they are okay, they are average numbers, they are not bad either. But the catch is, board has recommended a buyback of share of around 18,000 crore, which means at 4,500 rupees per share they are going to buy back shares. And that, what that indicates is, probably it is a temporary support they are providing to the stock performance. The performance of the company is not that good, but that is a way they are keeping their stock market performance high. Not a good sign, but again, in the short term, it's a good thing. The stock market will enjoy this. Probably you will see a great momentum tomorrow from TCS also. I have already said Infosys will be the winner in this quarter. Very important. Probably their guidance of 20% growth was a big beat for the market. And TCS has come up with this 7 rupees dividend per share. So that's again a good thing. Let's look at some of the details, how they are going across verticals and across geographies. If we look at their retail and CPG, growth of 20%, BFSI is growth of 17%, manufacturing growth 18%, technology and services growth 17%. So it looks like they are growing well, close to 20% across the sectors. In terms of various markets, North America is doing very well. Europe is doing I think 17.5%, a big growth. UK is doing fine with 12% growth, and Latin America is I think contributing big. It depends how much of what is the ticket size from these respective geographies. So key takeaway: if you are a stock market investor, rejoice this period again for next 3 months, especially if you are not a Wipro investor. Wipro will see some heat, if not tomorrow, but in next quarter. This will be, the stock will see some adjustment or re-rating. But for TCS, there is a temporary stock support with the buyback, and Infosys is doing perfectly well, so we will see a great run up for Infosys. Let us see how it goes tomorrow, and you can come back and share your experience. So I look for your inputs. So we will talk about some more companies soon, because I think tomorrow there are few companies lined up, then there are banks lined up. We will talk about some smaller companies, mid-sized companies in IT. Till that time, take care and see you soon.